Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Friday, September 8th. Today we will have no significant impacts across the Great Basin, but we will see warmer and drier conditions region-wide, so certainly could see some fires pop up across the region or even some growth on existing fires just with the warmer and drier conditions. However, by Saturday and Sunday we will see additional moisture pushing up from the south associated with parts of Hurricane Jova. We are seeing some deflected, lighter moisture that will move into the Great Basin, which will show an increase in clouds, humidity, and showers and thunderstorms over the southern half of the region. The last 24 hours, we saw some showers and thunderstorms fairly isolated up across Idaho. These were a mix of wet and dry. Most areas saw less than 1/10 of an inch of precipitation, but there were a couple spots that saw up near 2/10 of an inch. Yesterday, Great Basin fire activity was light with only 6 new fires for less than an acre, but we did see some growth of about 487 acres on the Lighthouse Canyon fire, which is east of Price, Utah. Over the last 7 to 14 days, again, these very wet conditions have occurred recently, which really slowed down fire activity across the region. We did have some drier spots over parts of southern or central Nevada into western Utah and also over eastern Utah. So those areas is where we're seeing a few fires pop up here or some growth recently. The ERC point map from yesterday shows obviously all areas are below the 50th percentile with this recent moisture. But as you can see from the arrows, the ERCs are on the upward trend with these warmer and drier conditions. But they certainly have a way to go before they reach normal in many areas. Our satellite loop from this morning shows ridge of high pressure dominating the southern tier of the country with southwesterly flow across the Great Basin. So we will see some breezy winds across parts of Nevada and Utah and even some moderate winds up into Idaho, but generally drier conditions and sunny skies with warmer temperatures. So on Friday, again, this afternoon, you can see those drier conditions, and our significant fire potential reflects the recent moisture, mostly low fire potential. There are some pockets of moderate, again, where we haven't seen as much of that precipitation. And you are seeing Hurricane Jova down here, well off the Mexican coast, which will continue moving away from the area, but some of that moisture will get pushed up into the Great Basin by the weekend. So relative humidity today will be in the teens across much of Nevada and Utah, but we will see some of that moisture start to increase. And then those breezy southwesterly winds across Nevada and Utah, gusting generally in the 20s to up around 30 miles per hour in some areas, and then gusts in the 20s up in central Idaho. As we move into Saturday, Hurricane Jova continues to move off to the northwest, but as you can see, some of that moisture is getting pulled up well to the east into the Great Basin, so this will trigger clouds and showers and thunderstorms. So again, continued generally low fire potential. Relative humidity will start to increase in some of these areas where that moisture moves in central and eastern Nevada, and especially in the higher terrain of Utah. And those winds on Saturday will still be somewhat breezy in Nevada and northern Utah, maybe not quite as gusty as today or widespread, but still gusts in the 20s with some isolated gusts near 30 miles per hour, or we could see some thunderstorm outflows in the Sierra or areas further east, which could see some stronger gusts. But overall, lighter winds for Idaho on Saturday. As we move into Sunday, that moisture remains in place over southern areas of the Great Basin, and we are seeing more of a decrease in fire potential for southern areas. But with the warmer and drier conditions up north, we are seeing many areas return to the yellow for our significant fire potential product for northern Nevada, northern Utah, and even up into southern and southwest Idaho. Relative humidity on Sunday will be driest over northwest Nevada into southern Idaho, where RH will be in the teens. And you can see the increase in relative humidity over much of the southern half of Nevada into Utah. Still some drier pockets, though, over southeast Utah, which has been really on the dry side of things for some time. Otherwise, wind gusts will be decreased across the region, with the exception of near thunderstorms, where we could see those gusty outflow winds. Forecast amounts of precipitation with this moisture moving in Saturday and Sunday, you can see across Nevada and Utah. So we're not looking for any soaking, really heavy tropical precipitation, but generally more scattered showers and thunderstorms, and being a mix of some lighter precipitation with some pockets of heavier showers. As we move into Monday, very similar pattern. The bulk of that deeper moisture is well to the south, but we will be skimmed on the northern side for the southern half of Nevada and Utah to continue with those showers and thunderstorms. And again, our significant fire potential lower in these areas of moisture and a little bit higher, still in the general low category for northern Nevada, northern Utah, and southern Idaho. As we move into Tuesday, we're getting a little bit deeper moisture to move into southern areas. So again, a little bit more green on the map, still drier up north. And then that continued weather on Wednesday as well, but might start to get pushed off to the east. And by Thursday, we're looking for drier, warmer conditions across the region. Still some remnant moisture over southern Utah and eastern Utah for some showers and thunderstorms, so still generally low fire potential for those regions. 7-day total precipitation, you can see the increase over the Arizona Strip and southern Utah. Even over southeast Utah, that has really been on the drier side of things recently, certainly could see some additional moisture going into the early part of next week, which would be very beneficial. But otherwise, still continued a long-term drying for Idaho, northern Nevada, and far northern Utah into Wyoming. The 8 to 14-day outlook from September 15th through the 21st shows warm and dry conditions for the Great Basin, so really showing that extended drying for the northern half of the region, especially with those really warm temperatures. So we certainly could see some initial attack fires start to pop up as this warmer and drier trend lingers, and certainly could see some large fire potential. But due to time of year, we're losing daylight, so we are kind of in a mix of conditions that are really ripe enough for significant large fire potential. But certainly something we'll be watching with the prolonged warm and dry conditions. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.